The subject of the debate was the challenge posed by Afghanistan and Pakistan together. Mr Miliband outlined the current situation.
Mr Deputy Speaker, this is an important moment for this debate. Pakistan is struggling to deal with its turbulent tribal areas. Afghanistan faces presidential and provincial elections this year. NATO, as it approaches its 60th anniversary summit in April, faces important questions about its performance and rationale. And of course, the new United States administration is reviewing its approach both to Pakistan and to Afghanistan, and critically looking at its approach to those two countries together. I met today, Mr Deputy Speaker, with Special Envoy Ambassador Richard Holbrooke. He is a man of enormous diplomatic distinction, and I warmly welcome his appointment and his very strong commitment to work closely with the United Kingdom. I hope, Mr Deputy Speaker, the House will understand if I'm not in my place at the end of this debate, as I shall be meeting with General David Petraeus, Commander of CENTCOM, and a key decision-maker on American policy on Afghanistan and Pakistan.
The Foreign Secretary said a comprehensive approach was needed to the current situation.
These two countries need to be seen together. A mix of violent extremist groups poison the tribal belt on both sides of the Durand Line. There are intimate connections between the insurgency in Helmand and that in Waziristan, between the criminals and spoilers and terrorists who operate in Kandahar and Quetta, Peshawar and Nangarhar. So a combined and comprehensive approach is needed. However, the responses in each country have to be different. In Afghanistan, a UN-mandated, NATO and EU-supported international effort, military and civilian, helps the government. In Pakistan, the international community must play a different role in supporting the new democratic government in its response to violent extremism.
Mr Miliband paid tribute to those who have lost their lives in the conflict.
The armed forces in Afghanistan serve with unflinching courage and professionalism, as I have seen for myself, and they are a credit to the nation. It's also right to salute not just their courage, but their sacrifice. 143 members of the armed services have tragically lost their lives in Afghanistan. Their friends and family need to know that the country will never forget them or their loved ones. I also think it's important, Mr Deputy Speaker, to recognise the sacrifices of the Afghan army and police and the Pakistani army and frontier corps, as well as the thousands of ordinary Afghans and Pakistanis who've lost their lives in the conflict. Mr Deputy Speaker, I want today to address the government's view of the current situation and the future. The insurgency is changing its shape, but not receding. In parts of each country, the sense of security for ordinary people, as well as for coalition forces, is deteriorating. In Afghanistan, the insurgents are increasingly relying on asymmetric tactics. There has been a fourfold increase in the use of improvised explosive devices in Helmand province over the last year.
The Foreign Secretary has also announced that the UK government is to give over £10 million to support elections in Afghanistan.
Our strategy, Mr Deputy Speaker, is to help the Afghan government divide the insurgency